Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Solo. I got a lot of requests from this one here recently, so I figured I'd go ahead and jump on in there and check it out with you. See if this is something that's going to potentially sustain, or just generally speaking, what is going on, right? Like what, how is this going to continue to hold if it does? And generally just take a look at the most recent data and obviously extract a decision. So that being said, I'm not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. This is a coin that we're going to look at, of course, to help you understand, once again, best practice, big picture. Those are things I cover in my trading academy and of course my community/signal group that I provide to my members. So if you want to check that out, CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below. Let me know if you're interested. Of course, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that for you. But I just want to say thank you again to my current community members so much for requesting that I cover not only this, but just in general being amazing people and a great part of my life. Thank you. Taking a look here at Solo. Here's kind of the big picture. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, this is the oldest. Yeah, I think this is that was CoinEx. Oh no, there we go. We got a little bit older. Looks like ICO date was January of 2022. All right. So it's been trading for about 3 to 4 months now. So generally speaking, in this time, we've seen the most amount of volume accumulation in the last couple of days, or more so the last week, and essentially just kind of telling us that it's back on track in the sense of volume. And that speaks very loud. A lot of people don't look at that, but the fact that we have a lot more volume now is extremely important. Let's take a look at some other things as well. We're above the 200, correction, that's the 50-day simple moving average. And keep in mind with this 200, sorry, I keep misspeaking, that with this 50, it's basically just providing us a baseline of the fact that we're on the right side of the tracks now. Obviously, anything would be on the right side of the tracks when you have such a significant increase. But in general, we want to kind of acknowledge the fact that that could potentially work as a support level. So the bottom is likely in for Sologenic, just in that sense as far as the immediate, the most recent past, if that's concerned, okay? Take a look here. Here's another thing also that is important to acknowledge. A lot of coins that do this kind of sharp increase followed by consolidation, they'll recover and essentially use 70 as on the RSI as a support level instead of a, essentially the inverse. In other words, it's usually considered resistance. But when you break above and stay above, you can maintain that for quite some time. So I've seen a lot of coins go on these crazy cool runs, continuing higher highs and higher lows, based on the simple fact that they're staying above 70 on the RSI on the 1 day. So that could imply we have some further increase in price here with Solo. Okay? In other words, the support level itself, right around 51 cents, should essentially hold because you can see that it's held as a support level for the last 3 days. And now today, it's obviously jumping up again. So again, good stuff there in that sense. All in all, the 1 day actually looks pretty decent. I don't see anything that's significantly disadvantageous. Excuse me, sorry. Recovering from a cold, my voice wants to come and go sometimes, so apologize, future reference for any future throat clearers there. Anyways, looking at the 4-hour time frame here, we can see the 50 working its way up, of course. That is synonymous in a lot of ways because what we'll see a lot of times is like an ascending type of pattern forming. Why don't we go ahead and move this over here though, because it would make a lot more sense to have it be right here and progressing up with the price. But a lot of times you'll see the 50-day SMA working kind of its way concurrent with a trend line, and that is essentially kind of implying that, hey, bulls are still very much in control. So we do want to kind of pay attention to this. It's only been tested twice, so technically this trend line isn't like, officially holding just yet. It could very well go sideways, but generally speaking, when you see that concurrency with the 50-day simple moving average and a trend line, that's typically a good sign. All right. We're also trending above 50 on the RSI on the 4-hour, which is extremely important. Staying over 50 on the 4-hour is really, really good. And we also have a MACD convergence here, basically just telling us that the shift in momentum has changed from bearish to bullish. So this recent dip essentially is a thing of the past, and the price should likely progress higher based on this sentiment alone. Again, there's no guarantees with the MACD, but if you can combine that with just say the Ichimoku cloud, oftentimes it breeds good results, at least in the immediate short term. So we could likely see a continuation higher here from Solo based on the simple sentiment that we have a MACD convergence. We're above the 50 on the SMA as well as the 50 on the 4-hour. And there's a handful of reasons why this is looking pretty good. Okay. Again, no foolproof, but for the most part, looking pretty steady. So let's go ahead and confirm this here as well. See where we're at in the cloud. And this is something I like to look at too. This is a great sign here. We are officially above the cloud. Oftentimes you see that tandem type of behavior with the MACD convergence on the 4-hour and a break above the cloud on the 1-hour. Kind of just two different signals kind of telling you, hey, we've got this nice shift in momentum, this shift from bearish to bullish behavior, and the likelihood of it continuing either at least sideways or higher from here is greater. In other words, we shouldn't expect a massive correction unless Bitcoin decides it wants to, significantly sell off. And I say that because a lot of times altcoins like this will essentially dump based on the simple sentiment that they're one of the only profitable coins if Bitcoin's on the downside. But if you can see here, ever since Bitcoin's been digressing, Solo's been increasing. So it's kind of flying free, so to speak, in that sense, and that's a good sign as well. So we got this nice ascending type of pattern. We've got a MACD convergence. We've also got lagging span free and clear of any price action, conversion line above the baseline, and we're well above this nice little cloud here. So those are all green lights here, essentially, to consider either adding to your position or taking a swing trade to the upside. That's generally how it works. Again, are there guarantees here? No, because we don't have a tremendous amount of data to rely on for previous support and resistance levels. We can kind of take a look here and see that within the first couple weeks of trading, it had a major resistance at about 54 cents. So we might want to just go ahead and throw that on here as well and kind of acknowledge that that could be a potential resistance. And a one-day candlestick close above that line would be very much helpful. We could also look here as well to kind of understand where it could potentially go here, and you can see that this Fibonacci retracement level is concurrent with the previous resistance, right at about 54 cents. So that's kind of reaffirming that a one-day candlestick close would be advantageous for Solo today, because that would imply that we could continue higher and maintain that trend line, and of course, that increase above 70, that position above 70 on the RSI. So again, this is still a very, very positive thing. Even though, yes, it is overextended, it's also exuding a lot of good behaviors to maintain that overextension. All right. So again, just something to kind of acknowledge here. So all in all, very good shape here. I would say better case scenario if the price were to continue to progress higher. The most immediate resistance of 60 cents would be obviously the thing to break there, because you can see on the one-day candlestick, we haven't closed above 59 cents yet. And we've got 2 days in a row where the price kind of got rejected out of that price point, and that is essentially just something to also acknowledge as well. Okay. So again, big picture, it looks like it wants to continue to progress higher. Just note we're going to probably find some resistance closer to 60 cents, and a close today above 54 would be extremely advantageous. I would say a nice 55 or 56 would be good. So we literally close the one-day candlestick right now. I think we'll be in perfect shape to be able to see a continuation of the upside. Okay, so again, all good stuff here from Solo. I don't really see anything that is telling us it wants to turn around. The one last thing to note also is that if we have less volume, then you're going to see the price slowly start to bleed away. So pay attention to the volume. If we can maintain volume like we have so far today, or just say a few days ago, then obviously the price will continue to increase, because there's not a lot of selling pressure, and that selling pressure is only coming from low volume days. All right. Again, something to pay attention to. So I hope you found benefit here, of course. If so, like, subscribe, and comment below and all that good stuff. If you're not currently a community member, consider joining. CryptoCache.tech is the website if you want to become a better trader. Signal Group, Trading Academy, and amazing community as well. I hope to get to know you better. I look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again.